You don't remember the last time you saw a sky without fog. Maybe it was back in Lugdunum, where the sun didn't hide from men, where every road had an end. But here nothing has a name, only damp earth, the weight of stone underfoot, and, step by step, farther from history. You are a legionnaire, Roman, 9th Legion Hispana, the empire's pride, and also its secret. The name no one speaks, the ones no one was meant to remember, the ones no one was supposed to find. You weren't supposed to survive. At first, there were only whispers, that your unit was sent north, that all 3,000 vanished, that not a single man returned. But was it a battle? Or was it something else that waited in the mist, in the land that drinks memory like rain, in forests where the stones know your name, even before you were born? Because how else do you explain why nothing was left? No scroll, no grave, no body, only a legend. And that legend is you. So now, lie back, take a slow breath, and let yourself drift into a story that was never written down. Because you are the last to remember. Before we march into the unknown, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment with the city you're listening from and what time it is there. Let's see how far across the empire this march goes. Chapter 1: Marching into the Mist. From now on, the map is useless, and so is reason. They said this would be a short campaign, a show of Roman order, a reminder to the northern tribes that the empire still watched. But that was 62 days ago. Now your armor is rusting at the joints. The leather chafes under your tunic, and every breath tastes like moss and iron. The sky hasn't shown its face in weeks, only gray. And the forest, it stretches in every direction, a sea of trunks and silence. There are no towns, no roads, no birds, only trees and men. Your unit left Eboracum with full strength, 3,000. Centurions shouted in rhythm, eagles were polished bright. You remember the first 5 days clearly. Then the fog began, and the names started to fade. The scouts stopped returning. At first, there were excuses. They're tracking rebels. They're foraging. Then, no more excuses. Just quiet nods, and fewer eyes around the fire. Except now, there is no fire. Fires are banned. They draw attention. But to what? There's nothing here. No tribes, no villages, no signs of life. Only the slow sinking feeling that you are walking into something, waiting. Last night, Flavius said he heard whispering in the woods. When he turned, there was no one. When he looked again, there were footprints behind his tent.
bare, human, wet. Today, your centurion unfolded the campaign map. His hands trembled slightly. He stared for a long time. Then he folded it back up. From now on, the map is useless. You're ordered to keep marching, but no one knows where to. By midday, the fog thickens again. Not above, not around, beneath. It crawls under your sandals, settles in your bones. You no longer feel the weight of your gladius. It feels like you're dragging yourself forward through syrup or memory. You see Gaius, 1 row ahead, stumble, but no one moves to help. It's not cruelty. It's the unspoken truth. Help no one. No one can help you. You think of Rome, of stone baths, of your sister's laugh, of wine that tasted of grapes and not rot. Then you blink, and it's gone. That night your tent creaks, but there's no wind, and no one talks. You try to sleep, but just before your eyes close, you hear a voice, close, not speaking, not breathing, just watching. You sit up, but the camp is empty. 3,000 men, and not a single sound. You want to call out, but you realize you don't remember your own name. Chapter 2. The Camp Without Walls. You're told not to light fires. You're told not to speak. But no one tells you why. The next morning, your armor is wet. Not from rain, but from dew, thick and oily, like breath on steel. You try to wipe it off. It smears instead. The forest is still, and the men are quieter now. Not silent, just deliberate. They speak in whispers, only when ordered, only in Latin, and even that feels borrowed now, like wearing another man's clothes. The camp has no walls, not anymore. You used to dig shallow trenches around the perimeter, standard Roman practice. Now there's no perimeter, no trench, no fire, no light. The standard bearer says it's to avoid detection. From who? No one answers that question anymore. Yesterday's rations were spoiled. The salted pork stank. But you ate it anyway. You always eat now. Not for strength, but to prove you're still alive. Titus tried not to. Said he'd fast. This morning, Titus is gone. No footprints, no blood. Just his helmet, turned upside down like a bowl for rain. You're assigned night watch now. Not for the whole camp. There's no whole anything anymore. Just isolated tents spread across clearing after clearing. You walk between the sleeping shapes of soldiers, half expecting them to rise, but none of them move. You notice something strange. Half the tents face away from each other, not inward like a legion should, as if everyone's afraid of what might be behind them. You pass by the centurion's quarters. It's just a flap of cloth now. No insignia, no guards, but something inside glows faintly. A dim amber light. Not fire, not lamp, just glow. You step closer, listening. There are voices. Low, chanting. You don't recognize the language, and you realize you're not sure you ever heard Latin spoken like that. Later that night, a soldier asks if it's true. You ask, what? He says that we're already dead, that this is the underworld, a punishment march. You don't answer, but you both know something's wrong, because today the trees had markings on them, scratched deep, not Caledonian, not Roman, not even letters, just symbols, a circle, a broken line, an eye with no pupil. You tried to carve your name beneath it, but the wood rejected the blade. It bent your dagger. That night you dream of marching, but you're watching yourself from above, and you're not moving forward. You're sinking. Chapter 3. When the Sky Goes Quiet. Something is wrong with the air. Even the birds are falling. At dawn, the trees look different, taller, stranger, leaning in, as if they've moved overnight. You don't remember setting camp near this many. You tell yourself it's just fatigue. But the ground beneath your feet feels softer today. Not muddy, not wet, just soft. As if something underneath is no longer holding firm. The men march in silence now, not by order, by instinct. Even the horses are nervous. One has started biting its reins. Another refuses to drink from the stream. You're told to stay alert, but no one tells you what to watch for. And then the sky goes quiet. Not metaphorically, literally. No wind, no birds, no insects, no sound. A silence so complete you feel it in your teeth. And then a single bird drops from the sky. A raven, maybe. Wings curled inward. No sign of injury, just dead. It lands in the mud. No one dares move. Then another, and another. By the fourth bird, the centurion orders shields up, as if you could block silence. Later that evening, the quartermaster counts the food. Half the grain is moldy. Even the hardtack is soft. The wine tastes like iron. But no one complains anymore. You find a scroll nailed to a tree. Fresh parchment. No soldier claims it. There's no message. Just a single line. Written in Latin, "Don't look up." That night, someone does. Gaius, the one with the crooked nose. He stared too long. When you find him, he's curled up, arms wrapped around his head, eyes wide open, mouth too. You try to close his eyelids, but they won't move. There's something wrong with the stars. You don't know how you know that, but you do. They're in the wrong places. Or maybe it's not the stars that moved. Maybe it's you. You try to sleep, but now the sky is louder than the silence. You hear a sound, not wind, not animals, like metal being bent from very far away. And then, from nowhere, a voice not your own, whispering in perfect Latin. The road ends where you were born. But you never told anyone where you were born, not even the man next to you. And when you turn to ask him, he's gone. But his footprints are still beside yours.
Chapter 4. The Man Who Forgot Latin. And the only words he spoke after weren't words at all. The morning arrives late. The sun is a pale smudge behind clouds that look carved from ash. You wait for light, but it never quite comes. The men stir, but no one speaks. It's not discipline anymore. It's something older. Like the world itself is holding its breath. You notice it when you try to pray. The words don't come. You mouth the Latin phrases, but they sound foreign, jagged, wrong. You whisper them again, slower, and still they taste like another tongue. Decimus is the first to lose it. You hear him around midday. He collapses by the stream, clutching his head, mouth moving. But what comes out is not Latin, not Greek, not anything you know. The sounds are thick, like stone dragged across bone, like syllables meant to be felt, not heard. He grabs a stick and begins carving into the mud. Symbols, circles, forked lines, a spiral that loops into itself again and again. When the centurion arrives, he demands answers, but Decimus only grins, not out of defiance, but relief, as if he's finally saying what he always meant to. They tie him to a post. That night he hums, not a song, just one low note, the same for hours. Some men beg to silence him, others pray for him. You sit awake, listening, and you realize he's not humming. He's speaking. One long word, just one. You try to write it down, but your hand won't move. At dawn, he's gone. Ropes still tied, post undisturbed. Only the spiral remains, drawn in ash on every tent, even yours. Later that day, the medicus says something is wrong with the maps. When you gather around, you see why. They've changed. Not the drawings, the words. North is now something else. The name of the last river crossed is now just blank. And in the place where Caledonia should be is the word intra. No one knows what it means, but everyone pretends to. Before sleep, you recite your name in your head. You say it twice, then again. But by the third time, you're not sure it's right anymore. You try to write it in the dirt. Your fingers hesitate, and the first letter you draw is a spiral. Chapter 5. The Second March. Someone gives the order to change direction, but no one knows who. You wake before the others, not from fear, not from cold, just the sense that something behind your eyes no longer wants to dream. You step outside your tent. The air is still. No birds, no wind, but the camp has moved. Somehow,
All the tents are facing east now, yours included. No one remembers turning them. The night watchman, whoever he was, has vanished. Again. When the centurion appears, his armor is unbuckled. His eyes are red, not from sleep, from staring. He raises a hand. "We change course," he says, "east." Someone asks, "On whose orders?" The centurion pauses, then says, "Mine." But his voice is shaking, and you can see it in his eyes. He didn't make this decision. You begin the second march. The fog parts in a thin corridor between ancient pines. Trees lean inward like they're listening. You pass a stone marker. It's Roman, but the inscription is unreadable. Not weathered, just blank. One of the men touches it. He begins to bleed from the palm. No wound, just blood. He wipes it away. It keeps coming. They bind his hand, but not his mind. He won't speak for the rest of the day. By afternoon, you pass a field, or what used to be one. Cracked soil, dead roots clawing upward. In the center, a skeleton, small, not animal, a child, wrapped in fragments of a Roman cloak. Someone swears it's the ninth standard-bearer's son, but no one knows how that could be. He had no children, you think. That night, someone sets a fire. It isn't you. It isn't the cook. It just appears. A single blue flame in the middle of the clearing. No smoke, no wood, just flame. The centurion tries to stamp it out. He screams. You rush to help, but his boot has melted to his skin. You don't put out the fire. You walk around it all night. It never dims. It never flickers. It just watches. At dawn, new orders arrive, written on parchment, sealed with wax. The centurion reads them, but you notice his hands are trembling, because the seal isn't Roman. It's a spiral, pressed in wax the color of dried blood. You ask who delivered it. No one answers. And when you check the edge of the camp, you find footprints. Just one set, leading in, but not leading out. Chapter 6. The Forest of Watching Rocks. The trees stop moving, but the stones begin to speak. East. Always east now, though no one remembers why. The orders are followed without question, mostly because no one wants to ask anymore. Every time someone speaks, it echoes for too long. Even whispers feel like they stretch, bend, linger. Around midday, the forest changes. The trees thin, but they don't open. They tighten, taller, stranger, white bark like skin left out in frost. And between them, stones, hundreds of them, just wide enough to miss with your peripheral vision, just narrow enough to disappear if you turn your back, but always watching. They're arranged along the trail like guards, each one carved. Not art, not letters, just names. You lean closer. The first stone reads, Aulus Cassianus. That's a name you know. He was your comrade 6 years ago. He died in Germania, or so you thought. You move to the next, Lucius Arminius. He served in the 3rd Legion. You're sure of it. So why is his name here? And why is yours on the 5th stone? Your full name, every syllable, even the cognomen your father gave you but never used. You touch the carving. The stone is warm. It pulses once, like a heartbeat. You step back. The other men are doing the same, each finding their names, each growing pale. One man tries to smash the stones. He lifts a hammer, swings, and the tool breaks in half before contact. The stone remains, smiling. You press forward, but now the trees seem to follow. The path is narrower. The stones are closer. At one point, a soldier brushes against one by accident. He disappears. No sound, no scream, just gone. Only his helmet remains, balancing on the stone's edge, as if placed there. The centurion says nothing. He just marches on, eyes forward, back straight. But his fists clench tighter with each step. You notice blood dripping from under his nails. That night, there's no camp. No one dares sleep near the stones. You sleep standing, eyes half open, hand on your gladius, not for defense, but for memory. So you'll remember you're still a soldier, still human, still real. In the quiet, you hear the rocks whisper, not in words, not aloud, but inside your skull. A memory. You at age 5, chasing a wooden horse through a garden. No one else could know that, except the stone. By morning, one of the stones is gone, but the name it bore was yours. Chapter 7. The Sound Beneath the Soil. There is something moving beneath you, and it's been following longer than you knew. You don't remember falling asleep, but you remember waking. Your eyes open to mist clinging to the inside of your tent. The fabric is damp, heavy, slouched inward like it's breathing. You step outside. The soil has changed. No grass, no roots, just dark, packed earth that seems to pulse faintly with heat, as if it's been stirred. You press your boot into the ground. It sinks deeper than it should, like something made space for you. No one speaks at breakfast. Not that there is any breakfast. The rations are gone. What's left is wet, mushy. You eat it anyway. Hunger is no longer physical. It's something else. A need to prove you're still alive. A need to do something before it's all taken. Then you feel it. A vibration. Tiny at first. Rhythmic. Like marching. But under you. You crouch. Press your palm to the dirt. There it is again. A pattern. Like footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Hundreds of them. But no sound in the air. Only in the ground. Others feel it too. One soldier panics, starts to dig. His hands bleed, his nails split. He mutters that someone's down there, that he hears Latin being spoken beneath the soil. Someone tries to stop him. Too late. He uncovers a mouth, a human mouth, stone gray, open wide, staring upward. No body, just the face, eyes closed. But when the soldier leans closer, the eyes open, only for a second, just enough. They drag him away screaming. By the time you reach him, his voice is gone. Literally, no sound comes out. His throat moves, his lips form words, but the sound never comes. You ask the medicus what's happening. He shakes his head. Then he writes something on parchment. You read it twice to be sure. He never had vocal cords. That night, no one sleeps. You dig shallow trenches again, out of habit, but the soil is too loose. Everything collapses inward, like the earth is swallowing itself, like it's ready. Someone sets up perimeter posts, 6 stakes marked with red cloth. In the morning, all 6 are gone. Only the holes remain. But in each hole, a new stone, with names. 2 you know, 4 you don't. You ask if they're Roman. Someone mutters, "They will be." The centurion holds a council. He lays out the last of the maps. They're wrong. The rivers are reversed. The mountains no longer have names. And the X that marked the last known position of the 9th is gone. In its place, a black spiral, burned into the parchment. No ink, just charred skin. The sound beneath the soil returns that night. Louder now, slower, not marching anymore, digging. You press your ear to the ground, and you hear someone whisper, "Don't let them find your name." You ask, who's them? But you already know. Chapter 8. A Letter from the Future. It describes your death in perfect detail, but it's dated 400 years from now. The morning is wrong. You can feel it before your eyes open. The air is dry, too dry. Your lips crack when you exhale.
There's no dew, no mist, and no birds. Again. But this time, no insects either. Not even the whine of flies over the spoiled grain. The silence is becoming structural, like the world is forgetting how to make noise. A new object is discovered, found just outside the eastern edge of camp. It wasn't there last night. You're sure of it. Everyone is. It's a scroll, bound in leather. Too clean, too smooth, not made by Roman hands. And sealed with wax, but not the spiral. This time, it's stamped with an unfamiliar crest. An eagle, yes, but the wings are backwards, curved inward, like they're trying to hide the sun. The centurion opens it. He reads aloud. Only once. The letter is written in Latin. Perfect Latin, classical form. No errors, no affectations. But the phrasing is off. Too clean, too knowing. Like it was written by someone who studied Latin, not someone who lived it. The letter begins, "Report on the disappearance of the 9th Legion Hispana." The air goes still. You feel your skin tighten. It continues, "Based on surviving fragments, eyewitness claims, and encoded records recovered during the excavation of Site I-9A." Site, excavation, fragments, words that shouldn't exist, not now, not here. But they're in the letter, and worse, so is your name, your full name, your rank, your birth province, your service history, and the date of your death. Believed to have perished 121 CE, northeast of Caledonian territory, during an unauthorized deviation from standard patrol. But that's tomorrow. The date is tomorrow. The centurion reads the final line. His voice shakes. Due to geopolitical pressures and the sensitive nature of the surrounding mythology, the fate of the 9th remains classified. Classified. As if someone decided your disappearance was useful, intentional, a secret to be kept. The scroll is passed around. Some refuse to touch it. When it reaches you, the parchment is warm, like breath. You turn it over. There's a final sentence, written by hand, not printed, slanted, urgent. They're watching. They always have been. Burn this. But no one does, because by now you all understand. Fire doesn't always work here. That night, the scroll disappears. Only one man held the last watch. He doesn't wake. When you check his tent, you find something tucked beneath his head. Not a scroll, not parchment, just a stone. And it has his name on it, freshly carved, still wet. Chapter 9. The Disappearing Banner. It vanished in full daylight, and none of you can agree on what it looked like. You begin the next march in absolute silence. Not from discipline, not from grief, but because language is cracking. Simple words are losing their weight. A soldier asks for water, but says sky. Another tries to count rations, but forgets what 4 means.
You look at your hands. You know the word for them. You say it aloud. But it doesn't sound right, like the syllables belong to a stranger. At midday, you reach high ground. The sun tries to push through the mist, fails, but the light is stronger than before. You gather at a narrow ridge, windless, still. Then the standard-bearer steps forward. He plants the eagle, your eagle, the golden Aquila, symbol of the ninth, pride of Rome. Or so you think, because something's wrong. The eagle looks different. Some say it's missing its wings. Others swear the talons are reversed. One soldier insists it never had a laurel crown, though you remember it always did. A quiet argument brews. Too quiet. Voices raised, but lips barely moving. Then the centurion cuts them off. "Hold your tongues," he snaps. "The standard is the standard." But his eyes won't meet it. Then it happens. No storm, no tremor, no sound. The standard vanishes, right in front of everyone. Not into the sky, not into the ground, just gone. The pole remains, but the eagle is air now, and so is the cloth. You run toward it, touch the pole. It's ice cold, like it hasn't been held in years. The standard-bearer is on his knees. He's sobbing, but not out of sorrow, out of confusion. He keeps repeating one question. What was it holding? You ask him what he means. He says, "The eagle, it was holding something, but I don't remember what. A sword? A son? A man's name?" Then he looks at you, eyes wide. Was it holding me? The centurion orders the column to move. No one protests. The empty pole is left behind. A marker, or maybe a grave. That night you dream of the eagle, but not as gold, not as metal, as flesh. Its feathers are ash. Its eyes are full of faces. Its wings beat the rhythm of your name. When you wake, there's a feather on your chest, black, warm, pulsing faintly. You toss it into the fire, but it doesn't burn.
Chapter 10. Ash in the Rain. The rain is black now, and it remembers things you try to forget. It starts with a smell. Not fire, not decay, but something between. Burned wood soaked in wine. Old parchment turned to smoke. You lift your head. Raindrops patter against your helmet, but they leave no wetness. Instead, they smear. Your armor darkens, so does your skin. You wipe your face. Your hand comes away black. It's raining ash, but not from above. You look up. The clouds are silent, still. No lightning, no storm. And yet, the air tastes scorched, as if the sky burned somewhere else and bled its memory here. The men are covered now, not soaked, stained. Gray coats cling to every fold of cloth, eyes rimmed in soot, hair crusted. You reach for your water skin, rinse your mouth. The taste is worse, like iron left too long in prayer. Someone says it reminds them of Vesuvius. Someone else says this isn't ash at all. They say it's memory, falling back down. One flake lands on your hand. You feel your father's voice. You hear him. Just a phrase from years ago. Don't trust silence. It listens better than you do. You drop the flake. Step away. It crumbles like guilt. The centurion wipes his scrolls. The ink is melting, even on sealed parchment. He unrolls one, but the writing's no longer there. Only spirals, drawn slowly, deliberately, as if they've always been there, as if the scroll was waiting for them to return. That night, the rain continues, but heavier. Ash becomes sludge. It clings to your legs when you walk. You sink a little deeper with each step, and then someone sees it. In the distance, against the black sky, a shape, a formation, marching. Another legion? No, impossible. But the outline is real. Rows of figures, torches that burn green, helmets like yours, but not quite. Their banner is upside down. Their steps don't match yours. They move in silence, but the kind that hums, like teeth grinding underground. You raise a torch, signal across the clearing. The figures stop, just for a moment. Then, they all turn their heads in perfect unison, toward you, and vanish. No sound, no dispersal, just gone. A soldier screams. You run to him. He's pointing to the sky. It's clear now, but there, where the clouds parted, you see what he sees. A shape, burned into the sky like glass held to fire. A legion, on fire, walking into smoke, and leading them is the eagle. But it's facing backwards. Chapter 11. The Man with No Face. He was not there yesterday, but today he marches beside you, and somehow you know his name. The rain stopped before dawn, but the mud remains. It clings, weighs, grasps at every footstep like fingers that refuse to let go. You form ranks again, or what's left of them. Fewer now, maybe 100, maybe less. No one counts aloud anymore. Numbers feel dangerous, like if you speak them, they disappear. You walk 2 hours before anyone notices. There's a man in the formation, new, unfamiliar, marching silently. Helmet sealed, face hidden, armor unmarked, standard issue, but wrong. Too clean, no dents, no rust. His gladius is sheathed in something that isn't leather, more like cloth or skin. You ask the man beside you, who is he? But he looks confused, as if he's only just seen him too.
One by one, the men start to notice. Someone whispers, "Was he with us yesterday?" No one answers, because the truth settles in fast and cold. He wasn't. At the next rest, the centurion approaches him, asks for his name. The man doesn't speak. He doesn't move, just stands, breathing, if he breathes at all. The centurion asks again. Still silence. But then you hear it, not from the man, but inside your own mind. "I was always with you." You turn. No one else heard it, or so they pretend. That night you gather for warmth. No fire, just shared breath and numb fingers. The stranger sits nearby, helmet still on, hands folded. He hasn't eaten, he hasn't slept. And somehow you realize you know his name. Except you don't. Not on the surface. But your bones know. Your muscles tighten when you think it. You try to write it in the dirt, but your hand won't move. At some point, a soldier confronts him, draws a knife, demands an answer. The stranger stands, not quickly, not threateningly, just stands. The soldier lowers the knife. He doesn't drop it. He just forgets it's there and walks away. Later, he is found weeping. He says nothing, just wipes blood from his own ears again and again. Before you sleep, you find something near your tent, a scroll, no seal. You unroll it. It's blank, except for a single drawing, a man with no face. Underneath it, your own name crossed out. Chapter 12. The Path That Loops. You marched straight for 10 hours, but the place you arrive is where you began. You start the day like every other, if it can be called a day. There's no sun, no birds, just the strange, strained light that hangs over this cursed land like breath held too long. You march northeast or west, it's hard to tell. The moss grows on every side of every tree now. Even the rivers run in circles. But the centurion insists, forward, always forward. The stranger walks in the second rank. No one speaks to him. No one looks at him. But no one questions his place either. It's as if the legion needs him now, like a missing piece that was never supposed to be missing. And still he hasn't shown his face. Some whisper he has none. Others say, if you look, you see your own dying. Hours pass. The land changes, slightly. You cross a dead stream, climb a slope of bone-white stones, pass the broken cairn with the rusted spear still jutting from the earth. You remember that cairn. It marked the last known burial before your company turned north. And that's what chills your spine. Because you turned south today, didn't you? The air grows colder, the trees quieter, The sound of armor fades to nothing but breath. And then you see it. The same dead stream. The same bone-white stones. The same rusted spear. Only now, your own footprints lead directly to it. Circling, doubling, layered, like you've walked this road 100 times already. The centurion orders camp. No one complains. You pitch tents, but when you drive your stake into the earth, something knocks back. Once. Then silence. You don't do it again. At mealtime, there is no bread. Only the same black flakes from the ash rain days ago, now crusted and hardened like old skin. You eat anyway. You're past disgust now, past fear. Only the stranger does not eat. He just watches the fire, though no fire was lit. That night, a soldier tries to leave, says he's going to walk the other way. He does. You watch him vanish into the trees. 5 minutes later, he walks back into camp from the opposite side. His eyes are bleeding, but he's smiling, repeating one word in a tongue you've never heard. Except, your bones remember it. Your dreams do too. And in that moment, you realize this place doesn't trap you. It reshapes itself around you. Before sleep takes you, the stranger finally moves. He walks past every tent one by one, and in front of each he places a small black stone. On each stone, your name. Your name, not anyone else's. Every soldier finds their own, including you. Only yours is written backwards.
Chapter 13. The Voice from the Earth. It doesn't use words. It uses memories. And it wants you to choose. The black stones don't move. They remain where the stranger left them, at the mouth of every tent, at the foot of every bedroll. But now, in the early dark, you hear them. Not loudly, not clearly, just something. A soft scratching, a whisper under your breath. But it comes from outside your mouth. Some men try to bury them. Others toss them into the trees. But they always return. Always in the same place. Always with your name. Some names are cracked now, half erased, as if the earth is forgetting you in real time. Or remembering what comes next. You take your turn on watch. Nothing stirs, not even the trees. The silence is absolute. But then you feel it, not in your ears, not in the wind, in your feet. A hum, like strings being plucked under the ground. You kneel, touch the soil. It pulses back 3 times. You press your palm to it, and the earth speaks, not in sound, but in memory. You see your mother's eyes the day you left Hispania. You smell her shawl, feel her hand,
hear her voice. Return as a man or not at all. Then you see your own body, lying in a ditch, eyes glassy, armor split, scroll clutched in your fist. The earth gives you a choice, not in words, but in vision. It shows you a version of your life where you stayed behind, married, raised goats, never joined the legion. It shows you that child, your child. She's laughing. Her name is one you've never said aloud, but now it feels like a song you've forgotten. Then it shows you another vision, you, still in the ninth, but this time the legion never vanished. Instead, Rome vanished. You pull your hand away. You can't breathe. The hum continues. One soldier beside you is weeping, muttering into the dirt, calling for someone long dead. Another is scratching Latin letters into his forearm with a broken coin. Over and over. Just one phrase. We were warned. Then the centurion collapses. He falls to his knees, blood pooling from his ears. You run to him. He grabs your wrist, hard. His eyes are black, not rolled back, not lifeless, filled with something watching through him. He whispers, "We didn't disappear. We were rewritten." And then he vomits dirt. The stranger stands now, in the center of camp. The black stones begin to vibrate. Your name glows faintly. You hear the ground beneath you shift, crack, not like rock, more like a door, opening, but no, for invitation.
Chapter 14. Rome is not watching. You thought the empire would mourn you. You thought they would send help. But Rome has erased you. And maybe it always meant to. The ground doesn't open like a pit. It opens like a wound. Quiet, deliberate, slow. And the legion doesn't notice. Not all at once, just in fragments, like memory, like rot. At dawn, the centurion is gone. His armor remains, laid out neatly, polished. Inside the breastplate, a scroll, sealed with wax, not Roman, older. You break it, unroll it. There is no Latin, no Greek, just one word written over and over. Remember. You try to take command, call formation, count the living. Only half respond. Some are asleep, some are praying. One is carving a square into the mud, sitting inside it and muttering, "I'm still in the city. I never left. They lied." You don't ask who "they" is. You already know. The stranger stands beside the empty armor, watching, always watching. One soldier finally approaches him, whispers something you can't hear. Then he smiles and walks into the forest. He does not return, but his black stone, it splits in half that night. One half remains, the other half vanishes, like it followed him. That evening, a scout returns, pale,
eyes red, no wounds, no weapons drawn. He just says, "We found the boundary." You press him, "What kind of boundary?" He answers, "The map ends." You ask what he means. He draws it in the dirt. The route you've taken, curving, looping, twisting, but always within a circle. And outside that circle, blank space, as if the cartographers themselves refused to draw beyond it, or forgot how. You take the map, unroll the one Rome gave you at the start. It shows a straight line, north, clear, confident, no loops, no circles. You compare the two. They are not versions of the same place. They are different realities. And the one you've been living in was never meant to be found. That night, as the last embers of your camp die, you hear a new sound. Not drums, not wind, not wolves. Trumpets, far off, echoing, but no one plays them. And they do not match the signals of the Roman army. They are older, and beneath them, a whisper. There is no home, only the place that forgets you last. You think of Rome, of marble streets, of the Senate, of your old commander's voice. And suddenly, you can't remember what it sounded like. You can't picture his face. You can't recall who sent you here, or why, or what your mission ever was. Only the marching, only the loop. Only the earth beneath your feet that breathes when no one watches. You ask the stranger one final question, direct, clear. Will we return? He turns, and for the first time, removes his helmet. There is no face, just a flat plane of scarred skin where features once were. But you feel his answer. You never left.
Chapter 15. Where the Ninth Still Marches. No tomb, no triumph, no name carved in stone, and yet you never stopped marching. The night feels longer, the stars gone, the sky bruised, no horizon, no moon, just a low red shimmer that pulses like a wound that won't close. The men don't speak anymore, not because they're silent, because speech feels too alive. Words are for the living, and that's not what you are now. Not quite. Your armor fits looser. Your reflection, if it still appears, shows a face you don't remember owning. The stranger no longer walks among you. He walks ahead, always 20 paces forward, always just at the edge of your sight. And the strangest part? You follow him willingly, as if he was the general all along. One morning, you wake to the sound of marching feet, but no one is walking. Every man stands still, yet the sound grows. It comes from beneath. You kneel, press your ear to the dirt, and hear it. Boots, shields, breath, thousands of them. A mirror march below the surface, matching your steps, matching your rhythm, as if another legion walks just under the soil. a buried version of you, still obeying the order to advance. You dig, only a little, just enough to see something metallic. A bracer, worn, bent, stamped with a number, IX. You cover it back up. You don't tell the others, because you understand now. You are not the first ninth. You are the latest, and maybe not the last. That night, the wind returns. It speaks now, not in words, in orders, faint, barely formed, but unmistakable. Form line, advance left, no retreat. The voice is yours, but older, like it's been echoing through centuries just to find its way back. You find a stone later that day, not a black one, a white one, smooth, and carved into it, not your name, but your future. A single line. Here walks the ninth, always. You place it at the edge of your camp, just like the stranger once did. But no stranger walks here now, only you and the rest. You never die, not truly. You simply forget how to stop. You become the myth, the whisper, the nightmare of scholars and emperors who wonder what really happened. But it's simple. The ninth never vanished. It just kept marching, through time, through memory, through the soil itself. A loop, a legend, a warning, and maybe, tonight, when the wind brushes against your window, or the earth hums beneath your feet, you'll hear them too, still marching, somewhere beneath, somewhere forgotten, somewhere real. Thank you for walking with them. If you'd like the full video setup, title, description, hashtags, tags, and thumbnail prompt, I'm ready.